Okay, so here's my drawing of my house. This is the entrance of the house, and then it leads us to our living room. The living room, I use it for watching TV with my family, but my grandmother uses the most. She watches TV every every single day there. And if we move a little bit, we have another room that has another TV, and I use that space to do my homework sometimes because here in this room, that's my bedroom, and sometimes it is too hot there, and I have to be here so that I can have fresh air during the classes, even in during the classes, and mostly with this pandemic, I stay here because I can see also my grandmother, and I don't feel like that lonely or that alone. Um, if we move to this space, this is a corridor that was made by my uncle, and it leads us to another room that it's like the room where we put the stuff that we are not using or that we don't need. And that space, sometimes my brother uses to take his classes online because it's quiet, and as nobody goes there, it is a really comfortable place. However, it can be hot sometimes because it does not have like any air conditioner or something that we can um, have fresh air with, right? Then here is here's a door, and we can go to the patio there. And in the patio we have like a table, and sometimes we put a pool there in order to have a good day. But it is for where we do the laundry mostly, and we hang our clothes there so that the sun can dry them really good. So what about you, Alan?
Yeah, well, so this is my drawing, and well, the I just draw the building, not the whole house. I mean, I'm not including my backyard nor my patio. Sorry for the dogs. Um, so my house has two rooms. One is the master bedroom for my parents, and the other one is for my bedroom. Those share a bathroom that's in between them, in a small hall. Then we have like the living room and um, the place we will have lunch and all of that together in the same space. And we also have the kitchen in the back that is next to the backyard. Um, we mainly use those spaces for what they are designed for. Like well, of course, the bedrooms are only to stay on part of the day, and well, to sleep, of course. I have been taking my classes and stuff since the pandemic on my room, but lately I've been taking them on the living room because it's a little bit more a little less tempting onto rather than going to bed or something. I just focus better on the living room, and that's what I do. I don't think that currently we need more space. I think we have enough space in each of the rooms. What I will say or add, maybe we will love to have a pool, but that's just something we will like and wish because, well, the heat and the weather in our city is like that. But other than that, I don't think we have a need for more space or for something different to be built. We have what we need already, and well, that's what happens with the my house where I live.
Okay, in the first picture, it seems to be there's a tree that has fallen down. This could be due to several reasons. Maybe there were some high winds where um, were quite strong, and they caused this tree to fall. We can see some branches, some broken branches. Mm, Maybe there was an earthquake, so that caused that the ground the ground was like trembling, and then the roots started to weaken, and then the tree fell down. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I agree with what you mentioned. That's maybe what could have happened. And well, on my part, I would like to talk about the picture D. In that picture, um, well, we can see a lot of people. Maybe they are in a concert. Maybe they are at a festival or something like that. I don't think that anyone in there is just sighing. Maybe they are singing, screaming, and in a way barking. Maybe the lyrics of a song. They may be clapping too because of the excitement they have. Um, yeah, I don't think anyone is stuttering any lyrics. They maybe are passionate about the songs and their artists there. So it should be really an exciting moment for all of them. I don't know. What do you guys think um, about the other pictures or that one?
I couldn't agree with you more because you have described the picture excellent. In my case, which is letter C, the picture in letter C, I would say that in this case, if I have been in this situation, I would be shuddering and also trembling like a lot because I'm very scared of ambulances because I know they are carrying people who had an accident. I don't know, maybe people wouldn't be clapping at that, and we should respect the space to in order to let the ambulance go, and then well, cars should like make a side to it to go. What do you think?
Yes, I agree with you. I think that when we hear ambulances, it's because something happened or they're going to carry someone to the hospital. In my case, I'm going to talk about picture number, no, picture letter B, where we can see tall grass. And for me, this pictures is all about calmness because when we are like in places like this, we are going to hear nothing but our own side. We stay away from park and claps from people. It's like really quiet. It's a place where you can relax yourself and think about, I don't know, life or maybe things that you have done. I think it's a very good place to reconsider about options in your future. And well, I think that perhaps you might hear some some animals roar, but nothing that we should be scared of. Yes, I think about that.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. With all
I
of you.
also agree with you.
Yeah, I think we have described very well the pictures we have talked about.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, guys, so now let's work on Unit 2, Exercise 1, about giving opinions. So, what will be the worst thing about being stuck somewhere without any phone or internet access? What do you guys think?
Well, in my case, I think it would be hard to communicate with someone else or with someone who can actually help you, because nowadays internet is almost in every place, even in places we think it doesn't reach it. um and nowadays, well, at least in Mexico, there's a lot of people who are killing someone who is like alone, and I think it would be very careful. And in my case, I'm a girl. I think I'm like I don't know. I People may harm, whether like doing something bad to me, and I don't know. We should always have a cell phone, and I don't know. Try to not be scared also, because otherwise other people we're going to see that we are scared, that we are kind of like confused of what is going on with us, so we must keep like calm, so we may think what we are going to do in order to not be that stuck long time. I don't
Yeah,
know what
right there. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know what my partners think about this.
yeah. What do you think, Uciel? What's your
Yeah,
take on
I definitely agree with you, but yeah, I agree with Bere because the worst thing about being stuck in a place with a phone or internet access is that you don't have chance or opportunity to get in touch with other people, with maybe with your parents, maybe with your uh, family that don't live nearby. Maybe they live in another city, even another country, and the only way you have to contact to get in touch with them is by social media. However, I I don't think that being well, I don't think that not having a phone or internet access is a bad thing. I wouldn't say that having not having this stuff would be bad, or to call it as being stuck, right? I consider that we should um, get the opportunity or to try at least to be in contact with people, but not just using the social media. Just I would suggest to to see them face to face. Um, I prefer to talk to my friends face to face, and nowadays I miss that a lot because of the pandemic. I I don't have that opportunity to talk to them face to face. If I had that chance, uh, I would do so. What do you think?
Yes, I agree with you, Ciel. I think that nowadays we depend so much on phones and what we can do on them or with them. But I don't know, the idea of being stuck somewhere, like you don't have any signal to contact anybody, it just makes me like think that I would get scared. I'm the type of person who gets scared easily. And I would think, I don't know, crazy ideas that people are gonna come and they're gonna eat me, or that they're going to assault me or rob me. Those things, you know. But I think I would try to calm down in order to think in any thing that I can probably do in order to get out of them of there. Also, I think I would trust people who are passing by there and asking for some help so that I can, I don't know, perhaps get my car repaired in case that I was in a car. Um, Once it occurred to me that I got stuck somewhere. I was going to a downtown, not to downtown, to a town, and the car just stopped, and my family had to trust people who were passing because there was no signal, and we shouldn't, like, we couldn't do anything because we had no tools to repair the car. So, also what Betty mentioned, that because she's a woman, it's like, mm, I don't know, it would be like more dangerous because all the situation that is happening with women are like quite worrying. So yes, I totally agree with all that what you said.
Right, guys. Yes, I totally agree with what all of you have said, with what all of you have mentioned. Definitely, I think the desperation would be one of the worst things that could happen in there because you don't know what to do or how could you get out of that situation. Also, the dangerous possibilities that could happen to any of us, and especially women, as you mentioned earlier. Yeah, I think that that is the worst part of it, like the desperation, the not knowing what's going to happen or how to solve that out, sort that out. And yeah, I see what you mean. And definitely, I've been in situations similar to what Manuel has mentioned. And yeah, we were in desperation. We were um, wondering what to do. And yeah, it's a very hard scenario to be in. And well, I want to thank you all for sharing your opinions on this regard and on this matter. And thank you again. So, okay, guys, now let's move on to exercise two on unit two. And in here, as you can see, there are two pictures, and we will have to compare them. Um, we will have to say why people should might be communicating uh, on this way and how effective this form of communication could be. And well, personally, I think that in the first image where this girl is texting in what it seems to be a movie theater while a film is going on, I think that I don't think that this type of communication is very effective, or at least for me, it isn't, because when something is playing on the background, either is a movie or a song or something like that, I tend to get like um, confused or distracted. I don't know how to say it, and I maybe might uh, commit some mistakes or some typos in my texts, and also that will be annoying for the people around me in the movie theater because of the light of the screen, etc. Whereas in the other photo, I do bicycle, and as I can see, the girl is doing bicycle. And although it is not recommendable to text while you're driving or anything, I think that she might have stopped to write the text she's sending, perhaps. And in that way, I think it could be effective. However, it might not be safe. But I don't know, what do you guys think about it?
I
Mm,
agree with you,
go
since you
ahead,
were
go ahead.
saying that people who are doing activities such as cycling or something else, there are a lot of cars behind them or near them. So you must be focused on what you are doing at the moment. And but also I think it's an effective way if you have suffered from an injury riding, or you need some kind of help while you have your cell phone, so you can communicate with someone else like fast. On the other hand, as you were saying, it is annoying actually when you are in a movie trying to concentrate on what's going on in the screen, and then someone else's phone or well ringing or sending messages. Um, it's very annoying. And I think it should have been, because it's rude and people know it, like a general or cultural rule that you shouldn't be texting or using your phone in the movie theater. So I don't know what the others think.
Yes, totally. I agree with you because even you're missing parts of the movie if you're texting or talking to someone else when you are supposed to be enjoying that movie that you went to see and you pay for it, and also people pay for it. So it's um it's a question of manners actually when people do this and when they don't, of course. And in picture number two, I don't do bike a lot, but here we can see that it's a girl. Perhaps she's with her parents. However, I don't think it's a good idea to do it because she might get injured if she, I don't know, maybe she can hit someone or something, and we don't take that into account. And I think it's very irresponsible from the parents to do that. Also, because she's a kid, she shouldn't be using phones. Perhaps maybe to watch videos at her house, but it's important as well to be playing and enjoying and developing her creativity because childhood is a very important stage to be a good person in life.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I was gonna say the same as Manuel, that in regards to the second picture, the young girl that is maybe she's texting or perhaps she's in on social media maybe. Um, yeah, I don't think that it's very appropriate for a kid to have a mobile phone, especially because of the age, and and also because well she looks like she's like driving a bicycle, and as you said guys, it's not very safe. That doesn't look very safe. And in regards to the first picture, yeah, the girl is texting in a movie theater, and yeah, I don't think that's a very nice thing to do in a room like that because well it's dark, and if you use your phone it's very distracting or annoying to see the screen, the bright screen, the brightness, right? And you can see the reactions of the people on the left, the person on the left, that he doesn't look very pleased. Actually, he looks very annoyed, and of course that depends on the person as well. Some people don't care, maybe don't care that other people are using their mobile phones. As you can see on the right side of the picture, that the girl is really focused on the movie. But yeah, personally, that would uh, annoy me. So that's what I think. Thank you.
Great. No, thank you guys. Thank you guys. I totally agree with all of you. I think we're all of us are on the same page on most of the things that we have shared. And yeah, definitely, we we are we have made some very good points in regards of these two pictures. So I don't know what you guys think, but we can move on now to exercise 3 on unit 2. And in here, you guys will have to choose two pictures, and you have to compare them and say why the people might be putting up the messages they're putting and what sort of reaction they might get. Personally, I would like to compare um, the picture where a woman is putting up a message on a board with job vacancies, and the one with the children putting out a message on a post. Regarding the first image, I think that the woman, well, to me, it seems like she's not putting up the message, but she's taking up or reading the messages on the board. And maybe she is looking for a job, of course, and she is checking on what the vacancies are, what is available, and what she could take or what she could apply for. um, the reaction she might get is maybe surprised to see jobs that she was not expecting to find, and maybe she's also hopeful that she will get one of those. Whereas in the other picture where the children are putting this message or this missing maybe um, picture of a pet, it could be, I don't know, they maybe are looking for a pet that escaped briefly or something. Maybe they are looking for, I don't know, something else, an object that they might have lost. I don't know. The reaction they might get is, well, a lot of hope that someone could find this object or pet and help them localize it. And yeah, that's maybe why they are putting up this message. And what do you guys think? What pictures would you like to talk about?
Well, in my case, I would like to compare the second one and the third one. In the second one, I'd say that sometimes graffiti is considered as a sign of being part of a gang, but sometimes I think it helps those people who draw to be focused on, I don't know, that they are seeking for attention, so their art can be seen. And on the other hand, the boys that are putting the image on I guess it is a tree. They are putting something which it says something like last day. I think they are promoting some kind of activity in which they are well trying to also catch people's attention so they can go. And I think both images try to do the same, to catch people's attention in order to send a message. That will be from my part. I don't know what my other peer says.
Um, in picture number two, I think that yes, I agree with what you said, but I think nowadays it's also like a way of protest and to show that you don't agree with something, especially nowadays that we are living like constantly protest of people. This is a way to do so. Um, Maybe through art, and which is something good because yes, sometimes it's because of vandalism, but not all the time applies, at least I think. And in picture number one about the job vacancy, I think that it's something good because perhaps the woman is looking for a job or she's looking for someone, for an employee or whatever. However, in this case, or comparing to what we have nowadays, I think that it's most common seeing people putting jobs vacancies on Facebook or in social media because it's more effective to get people to work with you through an app, and you can. I think it's also easier in a way to save like paper and all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, Manuel. Yeah. And the second picture, you can see uh, maybe it's yeah, it could be a graffiter. I wouldn't call him a graphic artist because I don't think that's art. But yeah, maybe it depends on the purpose of the person. Perhaps it's to send a message or just pure vandalism. Maybe it's the second one, but it's hard to me to see the message. Maybe it's to catch attention and the reaction they might get. Well, that will depend as well on the person. Yeah. Some of them might see this graffiti as a way of vandalism, some nonsense scribble, but yeah, that would catch people's attention whatsoever. And the third picture, um, these kids aim at finding their dog that is lost, and the reaction they might get. Well, I hope that they people find this dog as soon as possible, and the reaction might be that the first reaction is to contact these children. So yeah, I would say that.
Cool, guys. I like your observations. You mentioned things I didn't think of, and I think it happened to all of us that, and I think we did a great comparisons among all of these pictures. So, okay, guys. So now let's work on exercise 4 on unit 2. I don't know which of the statements do you agree with? Personally, I agree with the statement number 1. In it says that you should never raise your voice during a discussion. I personally believe that either if the discussion is tending to be aggressive, I think you should never do that. Never raise your voice, never shout or anything like that, because that would only make discussion even worse, or that would become a feud or something like that instead of a discussion per se. like you can achieve agreements, or you can solve things out without the need of shouting or raising the voice. Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. I think would aggravate the situation. And I think that when you don't raise your voice and you keep it low, you can easily demonstrate the other person that you are not willing to fight. It's just that you are in a small disagreement, and you could work on from that up. What do you guys think?
Undoubtedly, what you said is at the point of what this statement is. And I also would like to discuss number three, which is how would you say something is as important as what you say? Because sometimes saying like words such as please or something like that doesn't really mean that you are being polite or something like that. And what you're going to say need to be said in the way that shows your emotions, shows what you want to convey to the other persons. So so that will make the conversation or the discussion clearer. And I also think that by doing so, people will get a better perspective of us. Because if we are saying something and we are making a gestures or something else, um, it wouldn't be any goal would be achieved. So I don't know what my other peers think about.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bere, and I agree with you, Alan. And I would like to focus on the second point that says that people who shout the loudest tend to be heard. Uh, in my experience, I've heard some people, mm, I've seen some people doing this, and I don't think that that's a good strategy. Mm, Maybe these people tend to do that because they don't think that uh, other people would hear them if they don't get loud. And I don't think that's a good strategy. That maybe reflects lack of confidence. Um, and the most important thing is, to me, is the message itself, and not how you loud, um, how you ok, ya otra vez.
How loud
Voy
you
a
are.
otra vez, voy a otra vez. Voy a empezar otra vez. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I agree with you, Bede and Alan. And I would like to focus on the second point. It says that people who shout the loudest tend to be heard. Um, I don't think that's a good strategy. In my experience, I've seen some people, even teachers, that apply this strategy in order to keep their students quiet and in control. But honestly, that doesn't work, and that hasn't worked at all. The most important thing is the message that you send instead of the volume you said things. That's what I think.
Yes, definitely, Uziel. With what you said, I think that you're completely right, especially about teachers. We have seen that teachers who tend to be loud or tend to shout their students are the ones that are not capable to get a message across or to maintain a certain order in the classroom. So that's something important also for us as teacher to take into account. Lastly, and the fourth point, gossip can never be harmless. I don't agree with that. Definitely, I don't, because um, yes, I think we all sometimes gossip and we like it, but that doesn't mean that it is good. We should be really careful with what we say and the way we say it to other people, because we might get in trouble. I have been there, and it's not something I would like to repeat again, since I don't know, maybe you can lose friendships and get people mad at you because something that you said was not appropriate, or because um what you were told was not true. And something that I have learned is that if that maybe what other people say to you does not like gets anything good to your life, then don't do anything with it. Don't tell other people about it. As you are not like focused on what happens to you right now or other stuff in your life. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Manuel. Thank you, all of you guys, for um, sharing your point of views regarding these statements. I think you have all have made valid points regarding each of one of these statements, and personally one with that you agree with. And well, this has been all for Unit 2. Thank you very much for your cooperation and participation, and also for sharing all of your thoughts and opinions. Thank you very much. See you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks. See you.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay. Right, guys. Now we're going to discuss why someone might have made each of these comments and if you agree with them. The first one said, youth is wasted on the young. The second one says, you can live to be 100 only if you give up all the things that make you want to live to be 100. Okay, and the first one, youth is wasted on the young. I don't agree with that because it's a stage of life when we are experiencing things, and it's also a very beautiful stage that is never going to happen to us again. But I think that person made this comment because as young people we don't like think about all the decisions that we are making, and that those decisions are the ones that are going to affect us positively or negatively in our lives. And the second one, mm, maybe we want to live more because all the things that surround us as people, friendships, maybe our parents, or I don't know, family in general, right? And I don't think that I would like to live like more without my family and the things that make me happy, because that wouldn't make any sense. I would be unhappy with my life and with what I have achieved, because I wouldn't have like anything to live for. So I think this person made this comment because he wanted to live more, but he knows, or she knows, that you can live like without all the things that made you be you, because then that wouldn't be you, right? What do you think, guys?
Yeah, Leonel, I agree with you in the both things that you've said. In the first phrase, is the first comment, the one made by George Bernard Shaw, which says youth is wasted on the young. I'm not really sure about the approach of this comment, but I don't agree with this. Maybe this person thinks that young people uh, tend to waste their life because of the lack of their experience, the taking a lot of risks, and but I think that's a very important stage on people's life, and it happens to because of a reason, and it has a reason, and all of us learn from that stage. I don't think that it's a waste time to be young. And in regards to the second comment, mm, to be 100, it's it's an interesting quote made by Woody Allen, and I don't agree. Maybe this director says that in order to have success, you have to give up a lot of things, maybe your family, your friends, and some friendships, in order uh, to accomplish all your goals. Um, but I don't think that being 100 um, means that you need to get away with your friends, to forget them. I think that being 100 is to be happy. So if you're with your family or your friends and that makes you happy, so that would be 100 to me. So that's what I think. I don't know, guys. What do you think about this? These comments?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Personally, I think that the first comment might be made because the person who said it maybe knows a young person who maybe did something dumb or something that he would have done totally differently. That's why he's thinking like, oh my God, the young are so wasting their youth because they're maybe because sometimes when you're young, you're worried about other things that later in life you're not worried or you will think are silly or something like that. So that's what maybe the comment this comment was made. I don't agree with it, as you also guys say, because I think that, well, to older people, youth might be seem to be wasted on the young, but that's how you learn later in life. That I mean, by making either mistakes or making dumb things for adults, that's how you learn. How is it that then later in life you realize about things you don't know. So I think that the youth is a good time to learn and to know new things on life. As for the second comment, I think the same that you have mentioned so far. That well, wanting to live 100 years is maybe not appreciating enough what you have already, because uh, living that long of time, that long time, would suppose the fact that you will lose many things, and in that way you're maybe not appreciating what you have already. Like you wouldn't care then if you lose those things. So why do I think that comment was made? Maybe because someone is precisely not appreciating what they have at the moment or something like that. Like they think they want to live that long, but they are not realizing that what will they lose by living that long of a time. So that's maybe why this person is saying this, because he's like making this person who wants to live 100 years reflect on what he's really saying. Like, well, think about, well, what is that you're uh, asking for, right? Like, be careful what you wish for. So that's what my take on these two comments is. I don't know about you, Bear. What do you think?
Well, in my case, I also agree with you, the three of you, and how have you stated your point of view? I think it's because we're young right now and we are in this stage from letting our like old teenage be behind us and growing up and seeing what life is. I think like sometimes the people who say those kind of things, it's because when they are in their I don't know 40s, 50s, and right now they can do things as they would have done it in their youth, because right now they don't have the same energy as us. They see us as bad boys or bad girls because we are more like free to do things, and we choose what in according to what we feel. And at that age, because I have heard my aunts or my uncles talk like right now love, money, or properties, or this doesn't matter now. But I think it's because they have already passed that stage where you are growing, where you are learning and experiencing. But this is part of life. This is how we grow up. This is how we go to that stage where they are now. And I don't think it's a waste of time. Yes, we heard some of us make some fool decisions or mistakes, but it's part of life. And in the future, we won't do them again. And on the other hand, I think that sometimes we wish things we don't realize how will impact our lives in the future. Because at the moment we may be feeling that we are lost, that we want to live more because we are thinking that we are wasting our time. And then when that time comes and we have lost what we could have made at the moment, there's not going to be anything. And we should focus on what we are doing right now, on who we are, who we can count, and what tomorrow brings, we will never know. So we just try to live in the present. And wishing to be 100, I don't think it's just you are just gonna be sitting on a chair watching your friends and everyone. I don't know, no longer in this art. I don't think it would be worth. So that would be my point of view.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for all your opinions. That was very good, and it was really good to hear all the what you think. Um, ¿Hacemos la otra o sí da tiempo para que te vayas con Pamela? Okay, now I would like you to discuss about what books or TV series were you interested in when you were younger, and are you still interested in? This is a very good question because I think when as we grew up, we tend to live like the things that we used to like, right? I used to like, for example, one of my favorite books when I started reading was Twilight and all the series that had to do with Twilight. But nowadays, like I think if I reread them again, I I'm not, I'm not going to like them because they have like so many things that I don't think are appropriate, or I think that are like kind of weird for maybe adolescent to read. And some things are normalized that shouldn't be normalized, as well as for example, series. One of the series that I watched when I was young was Skins, and I liked it um, very bad. I was a really fan of it, and I told like my friends to watch it. But nowadays, I think that oh my god, how could I watch that thing? Like it promotes a lot of bad things, like eating disorders or drugs and stuff like that, and it's normalized. And I just you are for when you're young, you try to imitate like the behaviors of those people, but you don't know that you are those like examples are bad for you. And as I said, when you grow up, you see and you are like um more objective with what you you see right now, and that's like something that it happens to all of us, I guess. But I don't know, what do you guys think about this?
Okay, that's an interesting question. As you said, Manuel, as we grew up, um, our preferences in regards to what shows appeals to us most, it changed, and yeah, during our lives. In my case, I I was interested in, well, uh, I'm not um, I don't read a lot, so I don't have like a book that reminds me of my childhood when I was younger. But in regards to the TV series, yeah, uh, I like watching TV series, and when I was younger, I used to watch um, uh, a Superman series called Smallville, which was a version of this character, but in, in his younger life. And and actually, I'm still interested in that series. I don't watch it anymore, but when I have the opportunity to see some clips on YouTube, I watch them, and and I really like this character, and I'm still interested in that series and in that character because we can see it in movies nowadays. Um, yeah, I quite honestly, my preferences in regards to TV shows and genres haven't changed a lot. I'm still a science fiction fan, and I like also action TV series, comedy TV series as well. So yeah, I'm still interested in those kind of TV shows.
I totally identify with you, Lucille, because me as a child, I wasn't also a reader. I didn't have too many books to relate to my children time, but I did also watch a lot of cartoons regarding superheroes and science fiction and things like Bob Sponge. I think I watched a lot of cartoons I was interested in, and I think I at the time I'm also interested in them. Also a little bit older, but still younger. I watched the series that you mentioned, Smallville, and by that time I also started watching this series called Friends that you maybe have heard of, and that actually helped me developing a little bit better my English. That helped me a lot and was a lot of fun. I also enjoy comedies, as you mentioned. So that's what I've consumed uh, while I was younger, like a lot of cartoons of superheroes, a lot of um, sitcoms I used to watch, Smallville also, and I'm definitely interested in them all at the time. I mean, I will rewatch many of those shows. Bob Sponge is something I think I will never get tired of, at least the first seasons, because nowadays, to me, is a total different thing. But maybe because the audience of today is different, and that's okay, that's all right. But I'm definitely still invested in all those old time cartoons that shaped us, informed us, and it gave us this sense of life and sense of comedy in this mindset that we have nowadays. Um, and yeah, that's what I think. That's what it concerns me. I don't know about you guys. What do you think on this?
Well, it's so cute to listen to you, remembering what we were used to watch or continue watching, and how it has shaped us from who we are right now. And in my case, I remember that I used to read a lot of books which were based on toxic relationships and the bad guy and the girl who comes and goes. And I think at that age it was so impressive for me that you do believe in that and it will happen, but as you grow up you realize that things are not that beauty as it's been shown. And right now when you read it you say no, oh, wow, how I was reading that. And but I think it's part of growing up and realizing things and how it actually works in real life. And I also remember that I used to watch a lot of iCarly and Victorious and all those things. And when I was at secondary school, I remember that I came back to the school and I threw my bag and I used to watch it like the whole um, afternoon and evening. But right now, if I watch this, like sometimes like I get like, why did I laugh at that? And I think like at that age, it was we were um, I don't know, attached to or we were caught up by. And but it's part of life, it shapes us. I really like the fact that when I watch it and there were some kind of music they played in English, so I remember that I used to listen and then like learn them and to be in order to sing them, which has helped me in learning English. So I think it had a good point in my life being a teenager and growing with them. And right now I remember them like with some kind of feeling. So yeah, that's what I think.
Right. Thank you very much, guys, for sharing all of this experience with all of us. I think it, I mean, in my point of view, it made me a little bit like nostalgic to remember all the things that I used to like when I was a teenager. So thank you. Thank you very much. That would be all for this discussion. Right. Now, I would like us to discuss this question, guys. Do you keep a diary or have a blog? Why and why not? What are the main differences between blogs and diaries? And what are the potential risks of keeping a diary? Right. In question number one, I don't keep like a diary per se or any blog, but I do keep like a journal um, bullet where I can like write down my feelings, my thoughts, or phrases that I like that people said, perhaps movies that I want to watch, or books that I want to read. And I also note down like my progress in, for example, the dissertation, or how um, much exercise I am doing. And I think it's something good because it makes me reflect on how I'm doing with my life and all the things that I like without leaving behind my responsibilities. What are the main differences between blogs and diaries? I think that I'm not don't know if I'm mistaken, but I think blogs are the ones that you keep like perhaps in a web page, or where you put them in perhaps in the internet for people to watch, or maybe just for you. And a diary is like a physical notebook where you write your feelings or what happened in your day. The potential risk of keeping a diary is that people might read it, or maybe, some noisy person when they are looking around your stuff might like take want to take a look at what you think, or what about what you write. And like it as you put all your feelings in a diary, that people might like, well, or you might feel like exposed to that person that read, or that person might know secrets that you wouldn't like to share with anybody. That's like one of the main risks. But perhaps like you can keep it for yourself, like maybe with I don't know, there was a diary that needed a password in order to be open, and maybe you can do that to keep your diary for yourself. Now, I would like to hear or to listen about your opinions about this statement or this question, guys.
Yeah, Manuel. Yeah, in regards to the first question, you keep a diary, you have a blog. Why not? Mm, no, I don't. I don't keep a diary because of the reasons that you have said before, and also I'm not very into writing as well. But what I have, I don't think that counts as a blog, but I think that Facebook works similar to a blog because you have a profile, and you have your on this social media, you have the opportunity to share with other people what you're doing. And maybe Twitter works similar to a blog as well, but honestly, I don't use them that much to share my thoughts, or typing what has going on in my day. I don't do that. So I don't keep either a diary or a blog. In regards to the second question, what are the main differences between blogs and diaries? I think that the main thing is that one is physical and other is digital. And but I would say that a diary is more personal than a blog, because you in a blog you type and you share with other people, maybe lots of people. And a diary is more personal. You write for yourself, and maybe you at the end of the day you decide to share it with other people. Well, that's up to you. But yeah, I would say that are those are the main differences. And regarding the third question, what are the potential risks of keeping a diary? Basically, what you've said, Manuel, yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. That maybe you have siblings or roommates that can read your diary, and if you have personal stuff in that, and you have a gossipy sibling or gossipy roommate, so you're done. Maybe they would share those texts with other people. So that's the main risk that I can think right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. too. I think you hit the nail on everything that you just mentioned because, well, personally, I do not keep a diary nor a blog. I keep also a bullet journal, as Manuel does. Now I'm keeping an electronic bullet journal. First, I was working with a physical one, and well, I couldn't agree with you more on the fact that, well, blogs, yes, they are more in the internet, but as you mentioned, they are more public. You are sharing aspects of your life with other people around the globe, people you may not know or you might never see, whereas diaries are for personal stuff that you keep for yourself, to just know and record for yourself, to just keep to you, to remind you later on life, or to reflect on something like that, maybe. Um, and well, I will add also that journals might tend to be different to blogs and diaries because on journals you can be creative as you want. You can stick images, you can make cuts from a magazine and put it on them, and you can track maybe things you have done throughout the day or throughout the month. That's what I personally do. I track distances I record in the bicycle. For example, I track maybe what have I eaten throughout a month, like if I haven't eaten healthy or something. Blogs maybe tend to be, could be really long, could be really extensive. Like you could tell whatever happens. Like I remember this day I went to that place and did this and that. And diaries are more like on the day. They are centered on the day. On today this happened, and not even the whole day. Maybe something that happened, a specific thing that happened on that day, or how you felt on that day, right? And yeah, I think that the potential risks of this diary is precisely that if this gets to be published or someone else gets to read it, that might cause some trouble. You might feel vulnerable and exposed, and people could maybe use this information that you have pour your heart into to bad use or something. I think that this could be the risk that someone else gets to know something very personal that you don't really want to share. But that's what I think. I don't know. What do you think, Betty?
I think, well, it depends also in if you are an extrovert person or if you are an introvert person. In my case, I would like to have like a diary in which and the things I write, it's just gonna be for me. But others are also people who are extroverts that they would like to be read, or they want to be heard because they need some kind of help, or that they just want to make it like to give in their feelings out of the chest so they can feel relief after writing it. um so yes, I think that would be in my case. I would choose to have a diary. And however, what are the like the, the risk of keeping a diary is that sometimes, well, I don't know, among brothers or other people, like, they can read it, and sometimes if you keep it like something really really how can I say it, like really and you in which you write your secrets, or I don't know, people may get access to it and read it. I also think that in the blog can also happen that because people can hack you if you have enemies, or I don't know, but I don't think about that. um yes, that will be my comments about this. And keeping a blog or a diary, I think it's healthy sometimes because psychologists recommend that you need to write things down so you can like get out them of your head, which sometimes may it's not good because you overthink about them. But we should be careful and in what we are placing our thoughts, and whether on the internet or in some kind of paper, we should have it like um, be careful about it. So that would be my comment. Thanks.
Right. Thank you guys. That was all for this discussion. Thank you very much all for you all for sharing all of this information. Now we're going to move on to discuss the following questions. The first one said, ah, no, esperen, es el ejercicio 4, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Sí, right. Now we're going to move on to discuss this statement. So it says, do you agree with these statements? And you should explain your answers. The first one says, if your parents live to be 85, you probably will too. People in past centuries seldom live beyond early middle age. 3, having a stressful job reduces your life expectancy. And number 4, married people are more likely to live longer lives than single people. Okay. In the first statement, if your parents live to be 85, you probably will too. Um, I'm not so sure about this one. Perhaps yes, if nothing happens to you in the process. I mean, like an accident or something like that. But perhaps because of the genes, you will live like perhaps a little bit more than them, because also it has to do with the way they feed you and how well you keep yourself like healthy. In number two, um la número dos no la entendí, amistades.
La gente en la antigüedad no vivía más allá de sus 50 años o menos.
Okay. Okay. In statement number two, I don't know. I think because they like had to went through a lot of things, and those were the um stages or the years where there was a lot of, maybe, I don't know, punishment for anything. If you perhaps were like thought to be a witch or a warlock, you might be killed or hanged. So perhaps I agree. In sentence number three, having a stressful job reduces your life expectancy. I think I agree. I totally agree, because if you don't enjoy your job or what you are happy with what you do, then it's like it is starting to consume you, like physically and mentally, and then like you're mad all the time and you're not happy for things that you should be happy. And for that, all that stress and all those negative feelings that you feel, you're not going to live as much as you want. So it is important to have a good environment and the job that you work at. In sentence number four, married people are more likely to live longer lives than single people. I don't think so. I don't think that marriage has anything to do with perhaps how much you live. And in that case, I think that perhaps single people, because they are the ones like tend to be like enjoying their lives and not like thinking about someone else. But I mean, that doesn't mean that married people are not happy with their lives. So I think it depends on the way or how healthy their relationships are. So what do you think about these statements, guys?
Yeah, in regards to the first statement, your parents live to be 85, you probably will too. Mm, I think that that will depend on several factors. Perhaps if you live healthy, healthily enough, you will probably reach that age. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you you you'll get to that age if you perhaps if you don't take care of yourself, maybe you have these bad habits, perhaps smoking or even eating a lot of junk food, that will reduces your life expectancy. Um, but yeah, that will depend on other factors rather than genetics. But genetics play an important role as well. Now, in the second statement, people in past centuries seldom live beyond early middle age. I agree with that statement. In the past, there wasn't these medical advances or medical treatments that we have nowadays. Um, I would say that um, yeah, people during this stage of this middle age didn't have the maybe to deal with they have this to deal with cancer. I think that in the past there wasn't very common, but they didn't have that treatment, and nowadays there is a lot of um, cancer in people, and yeah, that would I would say that, but um, actually I think in before 1950s, the life expectancy was like 52, 55, and I would say that that would apply as well in the early middle age. And I would say as well that there was wars in which people died, several people died. So yeah, I would say that people in past centuries seldom live beyond early middle age because of these factors. And number three, having a stressful job reduces your life expectancy. I I agree with that. If you don't feel comfortable, if you're not happy, mm, if you're not enjoying your job, what you're doing, that would cause other things in your health. Maybe if you work long hours and you're under this constant stress, and you wouldn't have much time to eat, to see your family, to drink water, to do exercise, and that would uh, affect your life expectancy considerably. And in regards to the fourth statement, married people are more likely to live longer and live that single people. I agree with you, Manuel. That would depend as well on how happy you are in your marriage, how healthy that marriage is. If you're not happy or you're living under this stress, just as a stressful job, that would affect you. If you're single, but you keep these healthy habits and you're happy, and I don't think that would affect you. So that's what I think. What do you think?
I personally agree with all of these statements below. I agree also with what you have mentioned so far. I mean, personally, if we were to live as his parents, long live, I don't think, because each generation is it's different in their habits, in the things they do, and it doesn't mean that if our parents live that long, we're gonna do the same, because well, as I mentioned, there are maybe different habits and different things and different factors that have to um, that have some influence in how long we live, right? And for the second statement, I also do agree, because back in the time they didn't have nor the resources, nor the advancements, nor the knowledge that we have nowadays, and that's why they maybe didn't live so long, and that's why also they have children or descendants when they were even young, like they were in their 20s and they already have like 5 children or something like that. That's like something normal in that time because that's what used to happen. As I mentioned, they didn't have the resources nor the knowledge that we have nowadays. For the third statement, I do also agree, as I mentioned earlier, and as you have pointed out, it has been noted by several medical research that stress can have a harmful effect on our health in many different ways, whether it's in our brains, whether it's in the physical pain that we can have either on our back or any other part of our body. And that also, that stress also is reflected in the habits we have. Maybe sometimes because of we don't have that much time, we eat very little or we eat very harmful things or not healthy things, and that, of course, is translated into our bodies and our health. And well, maybe the only one I have to retract on is that married people are likely to live longer lives than single people. I'm not that sure of that one because marriage is not guarantee of a happy life. Some marriages don't work, and actually, who is single maybe is single because of choice. They are single by choice, and they are just happier in that way. I mean, I don't think that the relationship status is relevant to how happy you are. That is something you define, and you may be happy by being single, and you may be happy by being married. That's something totally different and up to each one of us. So that maybe is the only one I don't agree with. But what do you think, Betty?
Well, I totally agree with you with what you said. However, I disagree with the number one and the number four because in the number one, it doesn't matter how our parents live or they have made their lives. We are the ones who choose our own paths. We choose what we eat, how we work, what we do in our daily lives. So that it shapes our lives. If we are alcoholic people, we tend to be have a less spam life, and whereas if we are healthy people, we are going to live longer. However, sometimes there's something called destiny, and sometimes we might cross the street and get crushed by a car. So we never know. So life is something that we cannot measure, and we cannot compare it like having it with dying at the same age as our parents. And number four, like married people are more likely to live longer. Now, I don't think this, I don't agree with this. I agree with what Alan has said, because sometimes we choose to be single because it's better for us. Sometimes sharing our lives with other people is not something that we can match with that person. That's why there are a lot of divorce. People harm their kids, their sons, their daughters because of that. So I think we are the ones who have the power to choose what we want in our life. If we want negativity or positivity, it's up to us. And as well as life, we are the ones who choose how we are going to live it. As long as we are doing things in right, we're going to live a right amount of time. We never know. So that will be my comment.
Yes, thank you guys for sharing that with us. I think it's really important, the things that all of we said. So this would be all for this discussion. Thank you. Right.
Okay.
Now I would like us to discuss exercise 5, and it says in these questions. Number 1 says, how much contact do you have with people of different generations in your family or neighborhood? The second one, what might younger people enjoy or find difficult about talking to older people? And the third one, what might older people enjoy or find difficult about talking to younger people? Um, well, answering question number 1, I would say that I have a lot of contact with my family. Doesn't matter the age. However, I have like difficulties like speaking to my siblings because they are very close or because there are certain things that they don't want to share with me, and it becomes like quite difficult to know what they think about you or how they are feeling. They don't like sharing their emotions, especially. And I think that what my younger people enjoy or find difficult about talking to older people is that they find difficult to talk about their feelings or talk about certain situations because they think that we're not going to understand them or we're not going to help them in the way they want. And regarding the third question, I would say that older people don't like talking about personal issues or don't want their children to know certain topics they are going through, like economical topics or um, difficulties with members of the family. They would they'd rather keep those topics for themselves. So, what do you guys think about these questions?
Hello? Sorry, guys. And the first question, when it comes to my family, the one I'm in constant contact with is with my parents, especially with my mother since she stays at home taking care of my grandmother. Um, I also um, talk to my grandmother. Of course, she's staying at home with my family and I. And in regards to other relatives, such as my cousins, I would say that I seldom talk to them. Once in a while, some of them reply to my social media and posts and stories. Regarding the second question, what might young people be fond of being with older people is that they might develop this sense of belonging, hope, feelings of security, mm, something to look forward to, and a feeling of being part of of a group or of a pack when spending time with them. And on the other hand, the youth may find it difficult to deal with the fact that there's some adults that think that teenagers are not mature enough or that they haven't lived enough or they haven't lived what they have. So they tend to show themselves superior because of that and making them feel reluctant to talk to them.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Well, personally, me, when it comes to being in contact with people of different generation, it happens more often within my neighborhood rather than my family. Well, I'm a family of three, so I just have my parents, which of course are older than me. As regards for younger people, well, in my neighborhood, as I mentioned, there are some, well, neighbors that I talk to with every now and then, and well, that's the contact I have with them. And but I think that younger people enjoy or find difficult about talking to other people is that they encounter new, well, advices. They encounter wisdom in a way that their youth doesn't allow them. What I think especially they find difficult is that they might be judged by older people, since younger generations think very different and they are more open-minded. They might find difficult talking to older people because they might feel that, well, they don't see alike, so it will be a cause of distress. And when it comes to older people, I think that they enjoy talking to younger people because it's like a fresh air for them. It's like these new ideas of the generations. I think they enjoy this, and they find difficult, well, what I mentioned earlier, that younger generations think way different, and that's like a cause of distress to them too. And that's my take on this matter.
Okay. In my case, I talk a lot with other people from other generations, which are my grandparents, because I have this connection with them that I love to listen to their stories. So I learn from them. And what other um what I think younger people enjoy or find difficult about talking to other people. And in the first one, I think people love to hear stories about well, the ones that our grandparents tell us. But what I find difficult is that they have these archaic thoughts, for example, in marriage, in that at certain age you should be doing something, and as well as the world is in constant change, they think that some of the things are like craziness for younger people, because we have these gaps in generation, I would say. Um, if on the other hand, what adults or other or elder people think when they talk to younger people is that sometimes younger ones are innocent as they haven't lived much, and they make kind of fun of what we say to them. um, but what's difficult is that sometimes we tend to be rude with them because we think that they are laughing to us when we tell our things to them. So that would be my point of view.